Hey, can I ask you a question? New battery. You're not making video, are you?
That's okay.
Oh, you're doing it because I talk through my videos?
Oh, you're fine.
I make lots of videos. The millionth Corvette was hanging on by a thread, or rather a single rock lodged just above the cavern opening. The team lassoed and pulled the car by one wheel, causing it to swing free into the cavern. They were then able to lift the car and place it to rest upside down on the bottom of the sinkhole. The Corvette was finally hooked up by its two tires for the final lifting out of the sinkhole. Oh, so I just had to go get a new battery, and there was a couple of the structural engineers or architects or recovery experts in the vicinity, and I asked them as the battery went dead, what would have happened had they built this floor out of 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch rebar instead of 2.9 millimeter, which is 1/8 welded wire mesh. Well, it's hard to know exactly. I'm sure there's structural tests done by universities, engineering schools. It probably would have slowed down the opening of the hole, but the concrete mass was too large to be self-supporting. I'll continue to read. When we started digging around the black Spider, we found a piece of white fiberglass underneath it, and we continued to expose that until we saw that it was a 1.5 millionth car. Built on May 28th, painted red, first 300 Corvettes. The construction team utilized probing rods and metal detectors to search for the missing two cars. Upon the removal of the Spider, the team began working to free the 1.5 millionth, right here. Initial attempts to pull the car free were to no avail, as a large rock appeared to be wedging the rear of the car in the dirt. However, the construction team soon learned that because the boulder was not directly resting on the car, they were able to free the 1.5 millionth without addressing the boulder, which was a great advantage to the recovery experts. This was not just a little hole in the backyard. This was water washing through, moving stuff around under the museum, but so far underneath that apparently it was undetected by the pounding they do on the earth to check for echo and return. I'm sure some seismic testing was done. I'm not going to read you the blurb. Radar track, 181 degrees. Donated the car to the museum to continue its growth. Felt it would be a good vehicle for training to the other drivers at Motorsport Park. They were lifetime members of the Corvette Club, and this is what's left of their beautiful racing Corvette. Smashed and muddied and sullied. And I asked the fellows who I just spoke to that went through that door what good had come of this. Well, they said attendance is way up. They've learned a lot about how to anticipate structural failures, maybe how to build a little bit better in anticipation of a possible failure they couldn't account for with initial testing, or to do further testing. Now, you think testing is stupid. You dig a hole and you put concrete on top of it and things are going to stay where Mother Nature and you intended them to stay. Well, this just proves that dirt happens to nice cars. Low mileage, 16,000 mile Z06. 1 mile top speed event, dead stop, 1 mile radar GPS. The 2001 Mallet Hammer Z06 is one of the two Corvettes that's whereabouts were initially unknown after the sinkhole happened. The car was finally discovered this Monday, upside down with the nose pointing towards the red spire in the center of the room. It is by far the most heavily damaged of all 8 Corvettes. Kevin and Linda donated the car to the museum to help with the continued growth, and because they felt it would be a good vehicle for training other drivers in Motorsport Park. Honestly though, I'm still glad I'm here, because I would never have believed it was this bad. I'm not positive I could have recognized it. There were just a few little pieces that give it away. Kevin Heltman-Toller, donor of the Mallet Hammer Corvette. We're all happy we're happy to have the completion of our major goal to recover all 8 of the Corvettes. National Corvette Museum Executive Wendell Strode. Go ahead. This is not anything but entertainment for some folks that may watch my videos on YouTube. Can you believe this? Dolly full of good red Kentucky bluegrass earth, crushed by slabs of concrete, buried and almost washed away. Are sinkholes safe? Sinkhole collapse is difficult to predict even in well-studied karst regions. When groundwater flows through the karst landscape, it eats away at the soil, creating holes and caverns. When the roof of a cavern collapses, the land is taken down with it. Rainwater, soil. Plop. Yeah. Olive Bowling Green sits on top of a karst landscape. Look it up. Yeah. Some kids playing with Photoshop. I found a Corvette this morning in the hole. Oh, I suppose. You gotta use a bit of humor. Happy birthday. Here's a comic I'll read to you. Mom, why does Dad have his Corvette out of the garage and it's cold and waxing it? It's not even a sunny day. It's all happening around the country, baby. They're calling it sinkhole syndrome. Oh my. Two primary options for repairing the sky dome. One of the options is called an isolation approach. Micro piles capped with a structural slab. They're going to pound in some reinforcing tubes, find the bedrock. Local firm Scott, Murphy, and Daniel, along with the geotechnical consultants from Hayward Baker, has collaborated to formulate a plan to retrieve the Corvettes from the sinkhole. There was no light task as it presented an alarming engineering challenge. The team performed several calculations in various scenarios to decide where the required crane could be placed. The best solution was to set the cranes outside. However, that was not an option. The best workable location was to set the crane inside at the optimal site, which was determined after several hours of computer modeling. The team also devised a plan of a system of micro piles for both the exterior ring foundation and the spire. 23 piles were installed. The piles varied from 75 feet to 220 feet down. That's a long way down. 7-8 stories to 22 stories. The team went to great lengths and measures to formulate the safest plan to retrieve the cars. Even though the uppermost car, the 2009-01, was connected to a crane and raised only 1 foot for 30 minutes, measures and precautions were necessary to secure the safety of the cars. It's truly a catastrophe. Truly. Because of Bowling Green's karst geography, it is not surprising that a sinkhole formed. Sinkholes are very common in this region. However, a sinkhole forming in a building and swallowing 8 Corvettes is a very unusual thing to happen. When water and limestone mix, it dissolves some of the soil, creating holes and caverns. Therefore, with an excess amount of precipitation and groundwater over time, a sinkhole formed underneath the sky dome. While tests are performed before building begins, 20 years ago when the sky dome was built, there were no indications or forewarnings that a sinkhole may develop in the area or directly underneath the Corvettes and swallow them in their entirety and destroy them inside of caves. Humidity, air, silence, temperature. Yeah, some people go spelunking. Some people go looking for Corvettes in a hole. We're going to continue our little tour of the museum. The gift shop is there. We're almost done. The one and only 83 Corvette that GM never produced was brought forward some of the most far-reaching design changes in Corvette's history. Many changes include high technology that had not been proven for automobile application. Computer-controlled LED crystal instrument, high-strength, low-alloy galvanized steel for the one-piece uniframe, base coat, clear coat, one-piece sheet molded body panels, urethane adhesive. There were 43 pre-production models built and 33 were assigned to a Corvette engineering and GM proving ground activities to certify every aspect of this redesigned Corvette. The remaining 83 Corvettes stayed in Bowling Green for development. So I didn't realize I didn't even know they had made any 83 Corvettes. They didn't market them because they were able to get away with altering the CAFE standards, corporate average fuel economy standards, by not offering an 83 model year Corvette. But they actually made some. 4-speed automatic, original build sheet, L83, 350 Crossfire, fuel-injected engine. One of the 43 83 Corvettes ever made. I didn't know they made any. Learn something every day, huh? Looks like it has some sanding marks on the glass where someone's random orbit sander buffed the glass. Never seen these wheels before. So it looks like an 84 Corvette, but it's a wee bit different. And it was driven. A little bit of rust underneath. Those tailpipes aren't familiar at all. I wonder, I'll take my flashlight here, and I wonder if the innermost tailpipe is a dummy that's capped on the inside. Or like my BMW, it's got a little flapper valve. Can we see inside the tailpipe? Yeah, they're both active tailpipes. Unlike the '84 Corvette that had one dummy pipe welded onto the end of the muffler that did absolutely nothing. Decoration. Yeah, this thing is driven. Aluminum frame. Probably hand welded. I love getting underneath these things and seeing what's cooking in the oven. 1 of 43. Didn't know it. Learned something in the museum. Concrete falling and a path of destruction. Crunch. This one was signed by all the people that aided in this manufacture. The ZR1 Spider features a unique hood and quarter panel, providing vents to aid in engine compartment cooling. A new tunnel cover flows from the rear deck into the passenger compartment, reflective of Corvettes from the late 50s, early 60s, individual aero bars. This ZR1 Spider made its debut at the 1991 American Auto Show, probably in Detroit. The car was produced at the CPC Bowling Green plant, and the signature of those involved in the building are on the underside of the hood and rear deck lid. Originally silver with a yellow interior, first concept car assembled on the production line. And look at the destruction. All the people that built the car. Names are right there. Buried through slabs and tons of concrete. Hope I'm able to upload these videos. My computer doesn't want to do any movie maker stuff, so I've been using the hotel computer. My guests in Lexington let me use their computer. Last one I'm going to show you is the Weatherman's Corvette, owned by David Donahoe, who bought it new in high school, kept it indoors. Didn't want it to get rained on. It's just a killer what happened to it. I'm going to turn the camera on it in a minute when I'm sure you've seen all you need to see about these Corvettes. It fell into the hole.